Hi, you all. Amy Hoosier Diver here. Just thought I would come on here, like on the spur of the moment. When he's kind of like, Mama, what are you doing? It's bedtime. That's okay. So we'll see if some people come on. Because, like I said, it's not exactly a planned coming on, and this is usually a little later for me to be on. So I'm not sure if I'll be on super long. Oh, excuse me. Because now all of a sudden I have the yawns. Which I really didn't before, so such is life, y'all. Hey Nathaniel, how are you and Ashley and Gracie? And sorry I missed your guys' last live. So, because I was on, yeah, I think I was on Dawn's channel doing a sale, so that's why I missed it. So, but hope you all are well. So, what's kind of new with you all? I just kind of figured what the heck I would try a later than usual live. So, so we'll see who all gets on. Hey Renee, but no, I just excuse me, that I'm getting on like later than I normally do. But part of it, I thought there's a little update chit chat. But also too, like I just got done watching this documentary about mental health, and it just, I know, I just kind of, oh, sorry, Renee. Hi, Phyllis. But it was this documentary about mental health, and I mean, that is a passion of mine, but I just kind of wanted to talk about it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been called up a couple times for jury duty, but then relieved, so, I mean, nothing is jury duty, but I don't know. But anyway, uh, well, I'm glad you're back out to work, Renee, but I mean, that does kind of suck having plugged up ears and coughing. So let me see if I'm sorry for this stream close up. I will. Yeah, Winnie's in bed beside me, and there was at one point she was like looking at me like, "Mom, what are you doing? It's bedtime. You're interfering with my bed schedule." So, uh, but no, I just thought I'd give kind of like a little chit chat, and then like I said, we got done watching this documentary on mental health, and and that is a passion of mine. Yeah, that's better than feel like blah. Renee, yeah. Winnie's a cutie pie. But it just kind of like mental health is definitely one of my passions, and this documentary was excellent. Excellent. It's like a 4 hour, so we started the second DVD, but got the first one done. But anyway, I had to laugh. It was like, like how they say, like, when you get older, you get more doctor appointments. Well, I have like 5 doctor appointments. So I have like one this Friday, 2 next week, 2 the following week. And I just was like, yeah, when you get older. But I mean, they're all like routine, normal stuff. But the one where is going to seeing the ear, nose, throat specialist because I know I do have sleep apnea and uh, yeah. So yeah, I get five doctor appointments this week. Well, they're all routine. It's one is the pap smear and the um new booster shot. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the pap smear not fun. And then the other one is my yearly eye exam. The other one is my psychiatrist just to kind of get like over the meds, just a routine med appointment. And then a mammogram, so yes. Yeah, mammograms. Not really looking forward to being squished. But women will understand that. And then the other appointment is the ear, nose, throat specialist. Because I do know I have, they're pretty sure I have sleep apnea. Yeah, I used to go to a chiropractor. It hurt while at the chiropractor, but afterwards, it did help. But I'm going to the ear, nose, throat specialist because they're pretty sure I have sleep apnea. But my doctor's not sure if it's like regular sleep apnea, hey Frank, or if it's like based on like the structure of my jaw and all that. So the ear, nose, throat specialist can hopefully see, okay, if it's just regular sleep apnea or if it's more the structure of my jaw and mouth. And hey Frank. Oh, before I forget, I always like to point out like people on here like have their own sites. Lucky Seven Auction, they have their site. Canadian girl Renee here, she has her own website. Frank Evans here, he has his own YouTube site. So, check them out. Because I always like to shout out people. Bold Lion is another one. Oh, hey, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, Jamestown baseball commissioner, he has his own website too. Because I always like to shout out people. So that's kind of Southern Belle here. She has her own channel now too. Check her out. So, but that's kind of my appointments this week. Well, this month. But like I said, the other thing I really wanted, like, I don't know, mental health, I mean, is part of my passion. And watching part of this documentary, oh, you're welcome, Jeffrey. But, oh, you're welcome, Southern Belle. But part of this is, I mean, it's my passion, mental health. But watching this documentary, it just like, I don't know, gave me another urge to kind of like talk a little bit about mental health. Because mental health, I think, is like, is sometimes something hard to talk about. Because especially if like you've never had, like if you're experiencing mental health issues. Thank you, Southern Belle. But if you're experiencing mental health issues, it's like trying to explain what you're experiencing to somebody who has never experienced it. It's kind of like it's hard to explain. And this documentary looked at adolescents through young adults, and it just, I know, it just was like, again, it was like not that this stuff was new to me. Oh, thank you, Lucky Seven. And thank you everybody who's done thumbs up. I appreciate it. So it's not like this is brand new information to me, but it definitely was like interesting still, and still like stirred up this desire to like talk about mental health. Because it's one of those areas that I feel that can still have a lot of stigma to it. And there were just a couple comments in there that kind of struck me. And these were some of the comments that there was like one of the comments and there was that, okay, if people see somebody having a heart attack, thank you guys. If you see like somebody having a heart attack, or if you see a car accident, you call 911. But if you're seeing like somebody, oh hi Stacy May, W Catitude, she has her own channel too, y'all, on YouTube. So just kind of talking a little bit about mental health, because again, it's just my passion. But this documentary, one of the things that was said, which kind of struck me, is that if you see somebody having a heart attack, if you see an accident, it's just you don't think about it, you call 911. But if you see somebody having like a mental health episode, most people kind of just like you kind of walk away and you don't deal with it. But if you see an accident or a heart attack, it's just you don't think about it, you just call 911. And that just kind of and like they said, it's kind of like if it's something that you don't feel is normal, something that's not relatable to, I mean, it's kind of the nature to shy away. But I'm like, even if you see somebody having like a mental health issue or, it's like, it shouldn't be like, okay, well, we'll call 911 for the heart attack or accident, and somebody's behaving like strangely in a like mental health way, you just ignore. Okay, I'm looking. Yeah. Well, and that's part of it. And again, it's like if somebody's acting like mentally unstable, I'm not saying that, okay, you just go up there and depending on how they're acting, see if they need help, but just don't ignore it either. It's just, but anyway, that statement just kind of struck me. And then like another statement, well, that's what I'm saying. It's just kind of like, to me, it's like, if somebody's acting kind of weird or strange, just call 911. And that's why I'm just saying, if somebody, like, if you're not sure if the person is stable, maybe don't go up to them, but just don't, like, keep walking by. I hope that makes sense. Because again, I understand if somebody's, like, acting very erratic, it might not be safe to go up to them, but still, call 911. Don't just ignore. I mean, I hope that makes sense. Because that was like to me, that was the whole point behind the statement. Oh, okay, no problem, Frank. Yeah, definitely call the pros to deal with it. I'm not saying just go up to the person, but I liked how it was kind of like, it's like, okay, if you like see like accident or something, like everybody naturally calls 911. But if somebody's like acting strangely, yeah, it's like Don't just walk by and ignore and still call 911, you know? Okay. Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, you know, like, or like the 211, like, there, you just, to me, it's like, just don't ignore. But, and then there was another comment that was made too in this, which, and this is one of the things that does frustrate me with the mental health system that we have. I mean, I can't speak for other countries. I can only say for America here. Sorry, I'm trying to get this steady. Yeah. No, and I understand that too. And that's one of the things I wanted to get to too, is having my degree, you know, in counseling and having dealt with depression my own self and anxiety. There are good points and bad points about our mental health system. And one of those points was that this documentary brought out was that a lot of times, you know, like let's say you go to the emergency room, you know, sometimes you might not be able to get into a psychiatrist therapist for maybe 4 weeks or 6 weeks or 8 weeks, you know, something like that. And part of it is, I think, we maybe don't have enough mental health professionals, partly. But what kind of this documentary brought out, and like, you know, that, okay, if you go to the hospital, to the ER, and you're having a stroke, you know, it's like, okay, well, we'll get you in for care in, like, you know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks. No, they don't do, no, that does happen for that, but for mental health, it does. And I'm like, okay, but, and this documentary pointed out that, okay, mental health should be treated like a heart attack, you know, or stroke. And it's like, okay, like, you know, you wouldn't tell somebody who's having a heart attack or stroke that, okay, well, go ahead and go home. We'll see about getting you into somebody in, you know, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. You know, you would probably look at them like, what? So, oh, no problem. I understand, Renee. You know, I'm on a little later than normal. So, no, I understand. You gotta get your sleep. Take care of yourself, Renee. But this was like kind of like that statement struck me. That, yeah, it's, you know, but it just, you know, that, and just certain things in the documentary, like I already knew, but it just kind of restruck a chord. I hope that makes sense to you all. But, yeah. And the other thing in this too, which also made sense, you know, that, like, excuse me, especially with adolescents, that sometimes the mental health will also come out like in sometimes a lot of anger, irritability, which may be different than adults. And kind of also balancing on, okay, what is the normal kid behavior? and what isn't. And sometimes that can be a little, a little struggle. I get that. Kind of figuring that out. You know, where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought. Okay. You gotta love it. I just had a brain fart. I lost my train of thought. Um, yeah, I can't remember how I was gonna go with the next point. Oh well. So, yeah, I just can't remember. But anyway, it just was very, to me, and I kind of like I was looking at it as a mental health professional myself and experiencing depression, anxiety myself. Yeah, and yeah, and I totally agree, Stacey May. It's like I feel there's a, yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. And this is the one thing, and I will say that, like, yeah, and that's there's like all these different issues dealing with mental health. But I think first of all, I think doctors also need to be more trained in mental health because again, like I understand that ER is, if you're having like a mental breakdown, suicidal, still go to the ER. Because to me, it's better than, okay, I have a plan to harm myself or I'm having a mental breakdown and I'll just deal with it myself. Usually that's not a good thing. So the ER still is good maybe to just get that person immediately safe at the moment. But also too, I think like the ER people, professionals also too need a little more training in mental health too. Because, I understand that their primary training is okay, if somebody's coming in with a heart attack, if somebody's coming in with a knife wound, gunshot, dislocated shoulder, broken bone, seizure, what do they have a lot of training that way, which is good, because they need that training. But I'm just saying too that as far as, okay, how do we deal with the mental health more than just the moment right now? I hope that makes sense. And I think there should be more facilities for mental health too. And that's the other thing too, is I know there's no guarantee that people will take their meds or show up to an appointment. So, I mean, there's a lot to balance, but the documentary point out, yes, there is help, and there is help out there, but sometimes it takes a while to get into a therapist, to get into a psychiatrist, to get on medication. Okay, okay. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, and this is, again, I'm not saying that, okay, oh, it's the hospital's fault, it's the doctor's fault in the ER, it's the nurse's fault in the ER. No. It's just, there needs to be more training on mental health. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. But I think there definitely needs to be more resources for mental health, more training. with mental health, with emergency professionals, more resources for mental health. Put it this way, this one of the other comments in the documentary that really stuck with me. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand that. Sorry, I got an itch in my eye. But it was like kind of what this also brought out was that mental health should be treated the same way as a heart attack. It's like it should not be viewed as okay, well, mental health should get the same care as if you're having a heart attack. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like I'm not blaming the ER, the doctors or the nurses. It's just, but if you are having a suicidal thought or like a total mental breakdown, I mean, the ER would be the first place to go to, but then it's like there needs to be more training on that end and more being able to get like further care after that more rapidly than like, okay, well, you might have to wait. Okay, well, the next available appointment we have to really get you like diagnosed, to get you to a therapist, to get into medication, maybe a month wait. Yeah, and definitely, and I think there should be like more areas like that, where it's like you don't have to wait. And again, and I'm not saying that, okay, the psychiatrists or counselors are like, well, we're putting you off for, a couple weeks on purpose. No, I'm not saying that either, because, like how do I put it? The, there is like a higher demand and need for that than what there is available. I hope that makes sense. You know. Hey, Don. Yeah, no, I was watching this documentary on mental health, and it just, I mean, that's part of my passion, but it just like some things in there like really struck struck a chord with me, and it wasn't like new information. It was information I already know, but it just struck a chord again. But yeah, and that's the one thing is like I feel there's definitely more demand and need of places to treat like mental health than there actually is. Which that's another issue too, you know. So oh yeah, and Dawn's channel here, she has her own channel too, y'all. So check her out. But it just kind of like struck me, and again, even with the stigma, it's like like kind of like what these people were pointing out was mental health is chemistry in the brain. So it's not like, okay, people are doing these stuff. Oh, you're welcome, Don. That like people are doing this stuff because, oh, I want attention. Oh, I want attention. Oh, I want to act up. Blah, blah, blah. It is like the brain chemistry. So, you know, but and again, it was just kind of like the mental health should be treated as seriously in society as diabetes, as heart disease, as cancer, as, you know. So I'm trying not to have my fingers in the way. But yeah, but that's what kind of like, yeah, it's definitely not, it's not like, okay, it's not like, okay, well, gee, I want to have depression or I want to have anxiety or, I want to have claustrophobia. I want to have, it's, I don't know anybody in their right mind that would say that, oh, yeah, I sign me up for that. I want those things. It's not like you're doing these behaviors out of a choice. It's like, and a lot of this is brain, brain. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm back now. But kind of like what this also said was that it was nature and nurture. So it was kind of like, that with these mental health disorders, a lot of it is the brain chemistry in the brain. And so that is the nature. But then, no, that's, yeah. But then the environment, depending on what's going on in the environment, will then bring out the difficulties. It takes a lot of, okay, let me try to explain it this way, guys. I'm sorry. Like, let's say, that depression, let's just say, it's a chemistry, in the brain that's an imbalance. Well, that you may have that, imbalance chemistry in the brain. Well, and so you're predisposed to depression. And everything might be going fine, but then you get like something in your life that maybe that somebody else who doesn't have the brain chemistry with the depression and might not be predisposed might be okay with that situation. But for somebody else who's predisposed, that one or more than one situations then burns out the depression. I hope that makes sense. So, but and that's the one thing too. Um, yeah, and it does. I was gonna say something. My brain is tired. But anyway, but yeah, and it takes to get. Okay, I'm just reading some of the comments, guys. Um, and like you can maybe get some benefits from the government, but it's a lot. You have to have a mental health diagnosis, and you have to go through all these hoops. Because again, not everybody who has a mental health disorder, doesn't mean that, okay, you can't work or you can't, So again, it just, you can possibly be on a disability due to mental health issues, but again, that's not everybody. And you have to have a diagnosis. And, you have to be able to, through documentation, clearly show that, okay, because of this, I cannot work. I cannot hold down a job. So it takes a lot of jumping through hoops. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, but also too, like we had just started like the second part of the series, the second DVD of the series. But there is also hope, and this was one of the things that I think pointed out to the series is that people with mental health disorders, once you do get the help, kind of are, get the help, be able to like kind of control like the depression, anxiety, or whatever. That once you come out of those clouds, the storm, hey, babes in Toyland and other things, how are you? I think I can't remember. I think you have a channel too. I could be wrong. Um, but if the Babes in Toilet and Other Things has a channel, check out that channel, please. Um, but like what it was saying was that, oh, pretty good, just plugging along. How are you? Oh, hi, Barbara. Welcome aboard. Um, Let me see. Barbara, I don't think you have a YouTube channel. If you do, and I'm wrong, I'm sorry. If you do have people check out her. But what I was saying was that once you like get help with the mental health disorder, once you get help with it and can deal with it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Oh, yeah, trolls are, yeah, pain in the butt. So, but kind of like what this also pointed out was that when you're able to get the help with your mental health disorder, the one thing about it is that it can strengthen you. And by that I mean it's not like I don't know anybody who has a mental health disorder that's like, hey, yay, I'm glad I have this, or I'm glad I went through this. No. Hopefully, definitely, hopefully. Okay. Okay, Barbara, I couldn't remember because I always try, like, if I see, like, when people come on here, if they have their own channel. Okay, good night, Stacy. Get some good sleep. But if somebody has like a channel comes on and has their own channel, I like to give a shout out to them. But like what I was saying was that not that we're like, hey, yeah, we're glad we're glad we have depression or anxiety or whatever. But once you get through that dark spot and get to the other end with help, it's like it makes you stronger. Like, I would say in the sense that you can, you're like, wow, I was, if I was able to deal with this or, with that, you know what, resilient. That's what I'm trying to think, resilient. So, but it was a PBS documentary. Oh, sorry. Yay, Southern Belle! But it was a PBS documentary in plain sight. And like you can get the DVD Blu-ray on Amazon now, maybe other places. But it's extremely good. So far, I mean, it's extremely good. So, but it just kind of like covers a lot of information. But like I said, the second talks about like then the resiliency, the struggle of finding care. Yeah, definitely. Well, and that's what like I always tell people is like I would never say only medication. To me, it might require medication, but always therapy. You can't have just the medication and no therapy. Because again, like you were right, Barbara, the therapy the medication in some cases might help calm the mind down. And again, maybe different medications have to be tried too. Or maybe no medication. But definitely therapy. Because because it's kind of like obviously what like the coping skills you had used before probably aren't working. But if you're not taught new coping skills, even if you're on medication, it's like, okay, well, yeah, definitely, Barbara. Like the way I can describe it, like let's say, that okay, you have diabetes. You know, well, it's like, well, we'll give you medication, but we're not going to teach you how to eat or what has, sugar or how to take care of yourself. We'll just give you medication. Well, even for diabetes, if you just give medication, but no, like, okay, well, there's other things you need to do in your life. The medication may help a little bit, but it's not going to totally help. But yeah, but that's but that's why, I'm like, even with, depression, anxiety, or whatever, I mean, sometimes you need medication, sometimes you don't, but definitely therapy. Because even if you're on medication, if you don't, like, don't learn to, okay, what would be better coping skills? What are my triggers? That's all part of therapy. So yeah, but yeah, no, I totally agree. Like for me, I found medication definitely therapy and medication had worked was what had worked for me. Right now it's just medication for maintenance, but it's kind of like for me, like, okay, it would be like I said, just medication only and no therapy That would make no sense. Well, hi, Cindy. Uh, I'm so sorry. Anxiety, well, any mental health issue is hard. And it's, depression, anxiety, are just not good. Well, and that's the one thing. That's why I would like medication can be helpful sometimes, sometimes not, and sometimes it's just finding the right one. And that's the one thing like Southern Belt, that's why it kind of like all medication has this like benefits and the side effects. So this is also where I tell people is, any kind of medication, whether it's for mental health or non-mental health, you need to talk with the doctor, psychiatrist, and decide, okay, what are the benefits of this medication? What are the side effects? What are the pros? What are the cons of this medication? And which side outweighs the other side? And this is, and again, kind of like, and I know even with anxiety and depression medication, or any medication, not the same thing will work for the same, not one medication will work for everybody. Yeah, and that's what, I mean, most put it this way, I mean, like, family doctors are maybe good to start out with, but for true mental health disorders, you really do need psychologists and psychiatrists because they are definitely like more trained. To me, this would be like, okay, let me go to my family doctor to treat cancer. Well, the family doctor might be a good starting point. If you think you have like maybe some like, if you might have cancer, but to actually treat the cancer, you need to go to a cancer specialist, not the family doctor. And this is the same thing with mental health disorder. You can maybe like talk to the doctor and get help like in the start, but to get like therapy and medication, definitely more so the psychologist and psychiatrist. Just because, true, that's their specialty. Uh, yeah, and I've never had panic attacks, but I know those are horrible. I mean, it's just the way like people have described them. Yeah. And so I know, Cindy, that you said therapy has helped, and that's good. And that's, I mean, one of the things I would say, like, if, you all hear that, maybe who, like, have some mental health issues, if you want to, you can maybe put in the comments, like, what has worked for you. Oh, hi, Strong Minds. Yeah, Strong Minds, Jewelry Lovers here. She has her own channel. So yeah, and psychotropic I don't think are really addictive, but again, it's just kind of panic attacks are not fun. But again, like I always tell people with any medication, whether it's a mental health medication or non-mental health medication, you need to have the discussion with your doctor. What are the pros and cons of the medication? what are the benefits? What are the side effects of the medication? And I know, like, even with mental health medication, not the same medication or same dose or same combination will work for everybody. So, just because, like, drug works for this person with anxiety, it may not work for another person with anxiety. Or maybe, like, this therapist, works, is fantastic, with, let's say you go to a therapist or a psychiatrist or psychologist, and you're like, oh, I love them. They're fantastic. I wouldn't go to anybody else. But maybe, like, you try them and there's no connection. But I always like, just because there's not a connection, don't give up. Like, don't be like, okay, well, I tried therapy, I tried the psychologist, I tried the psychiatrist, and, it's not working. So, I'll never find a psychiatrist, I'll never find a psychologist, I'll never find a therapist that I will connect with. So why even try this, all this therapy stuff? And that's okay. And that's okay. And I would say, there are, just like in any profession, there are good psychologists, psychiatrists, and therapists, and there are ones that are not so good. So, and this is the one thing, it's not like, and again, I'm not like trying to say, like, okay, well, okay, if you have anxiety or depression or this or that, okay, you just need to do this and this will work for every single person out there. No. Yeah, definitely. And that's, excuse me, yeah. I mean, you do need to listen to your own body, and also to, again, what works for one person might not work for another person. So, because I mean, I'll be honest, even when I was, doing the counseling and with clients, I'll be honest, I did better with adults than kids. And we had other people in the office that, okay, they did, they did better with kids than adults. You know, yeah, definitely, Barbara. There's not like one therapist will, fit everybody's needs. Yeah. And and that's was what, like, I knew about myself. And, so kind of work was like, okay, so, we're gonna kind of connect you more so with adults than kids. We all, even as therapists, we are, human beings too, and we have, our maybe certain categories of the population we can connect with more than others. But another therapist, okay, can connect with maybe more of a certain population than another. But yeah, definitely, it's like, yeah, and that's okay, Cindy. Yeah, it's kind of like, that's why I always tell people, especially with a therapist, if you get, like, okay, just because you go to a therapist and you don't connect, don't give up on all therapists. Because I do understand, when you're in therapy, you need to be able to connect with your therapist, or else it's just not gonna work. And that doesn't mean like maybe that, that therapist is a bad therapist. It doesn't automatically mean that. It's just, I mean, sometimes you'll connect with one therapist more than another therapist. And doesn't mean that like one therapist is better than the other therapist. It doesn't necessarily mean that all the time. It's just in therapy, you got to have a connection. And if you don't feel there's a connection, then there's not a connection. So I hope that makes sense, y'all. But yeah, but it was on PBS, but it was like In Plain Sight. So far I am loving it because, like I said, I'm looking at it as a mental health professional and as somebody who has struggled with depression and anxiety. So I'm looking at like it through like both lenses. Like, is this explaining, kind of like from if you're having depression and anxiety, does it help to explain to somebody who's never had depression or anxiety? Or if you have had depression and anxiety, can you relate to what is being said? And also to the other thing too, does it address the struggles in the mental health system, but also provide hope? And to me so far, this DVD, this documentary does all of that. Because I'm like, I don't want the documentary about mental health being all negative or all positive, or sugarcoat or sensationalize or no. I hope that makes sense. Like sometimes I feel like I'm just rambling. I don't know. Maybe I'm not rambling. Sorry. Sometimes I feel like I'm rambling. But yeah, but it just, like I said, it just left me with a passion. It's kind of like mental health is one of my passions in life. And like I said, the series did not like I didn't come away from the series like, oh, this is all shocking and all surprise to me. It was stuff I already knew, but it was also one of those documentaries that even if you already know this stuff, it still stirs a passion in you to share. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Well, this is like one of the things I want, like my passion is, I know mental health can have like a stigma to it, which to me makes no sense. Because I'm like, okay, if somebody has cancer, are we going to stigmatize them for having cancer? No. So why should we stigmatize somebody who has a mental health disorder? And that's so part of this is I want people to kind of come away maybe understanding mental health disorders, to not feel they're alone, and to hopefully lessen stigma associated with mental health disorder. Because kind of throughout this documentary, which is so true, they kept stressing it's a chemical imbalance in the brain. So it's not like, okay, well, we're, that like, we're doing all this stuff on purpose. No, it's a chemical imbalance. Yeah, and that is like, and I understand that, Southern Belle, and this is, and kind of like what this series pointed out too, is that just seeing somebody on the street you may not know, but with people in your life, it's kind of like looking at, okay, does their behavior change? How has their behavior changed? Has it consistently changed? Because obviously, like coming across somebody just on the street, it is hard to tell sometimes, okay, what's going on. But I think like part of this also too is just, to me, it's like not just assuming. I guess having an open mind, put it that way. Not just assuming that it's a mental health issue, just assuming that, they're exaggerating their behavior because they're seeking attention. Just not assuming either. I hope that makes sense. And again with mental health, it's kind of maybe a little easier to, like, with some, like, family or friends, people that you see daily, compared to like somebody you just see out on the street you're passing by. But I think it's like just part of the series is just to have people understand that it's, to me, mental health, like somebody with a mental health disorder, it should be treated as if somebody who has cancer. Because somebody with a true mental health disorder, should be treated the same as somebody who has cancer. Oh, yes. Hi, Boldine. Yeah, he has his own channel too. Check him out. Thank you, Bold Lion. You are an awesome friend too. But yeah, it's just, like I said, I have a passion about mental health. I really do. And I want the stigma broken down. Just people being able to understand mental health disorder, that it is a chemical brain imbalance. And it's like, yeah, and the kind of like, there should be, access to treatment, more treatment facilities, more training with, even with, ER professionals dealing with mental health. Police officers dealing with mental health. Just kind of, and just not have people, I think, feel that, oh, sorry, and not have like people feel that, okay, well, if I tell somebody, that I have depression or anxiety. Okay, sorry. That if you tell somebody you have like depression or anxiety, that they don't treat you, that you're like an alien, or that you're an alien, or it's kind of like I said, to me it's like mental health disorder, it's like no different than cancer or heart disease. There shouldn't be like this stigma attached to it. So, I just hope that makes sense. Y'all, if anybody, and I would say, like, if any of y'all want to come on, you can come on. The only thing I would say is, yeah, because I know you all. Let me see. How do I? Hold on, let me. Oh, oh, okay. Sorry, sorry. Let me hold it this way for a second. Sorry. I'm just trying to see if how I can do this. Oh, oh, okay. I think I have it figured out. So if any of y'all want to come on, you can. If not, that's okay. You know. But I'm just holding it this way for now. I mean, I know like you did the normally the other way. Oh no. Aw. That's okay. Like I said, normally I'm not on this late, but it just kind of I don't know, I just had this passion. Oh, ooh. Yeah, definitely pray. Ooh. Oh, yeah, definitely I'll pray that, that you get to be sent to the clinic because even a chemical reaction burn is not fun at all. But yeah, but like I said, it's one of my passions. Oh, excuse me, passions in life. Because I mean, because like I said, to me, you're welcome, Bold Lion. Because to me, like a mental health disorder is no different than like cancer, heart disease, diabetes. It's those. There's not like a stigma behind those. So why should there be a stigma behind mental health disorders? So, I mean, that's just kind of my philosophy. Oh, no problem. Let me go ahead, Bold Lion. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and see about. Okay, hold on. Guess. Let me see. Okay, let me see. How do I do this? Okay, awesome. Okay, let me see something here. Okay, let me see. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Okay, how do I do this? Um, yeah, I'm trying to invite you, Bold Lion. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this without totally exiting myself out of here. Hold on, let me see something. Do. Oh, wait a second. Okay, sorry, I didn't quite mean to make me do that. Okay, how do I do this? Okay, how do I get... Okay, guys, I'm just sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to be able to invite Bold Lion up here. I wish I was more savvy on this. No, I did not want to do that either. How do I do this without totally exiting out of here? Okay, does somebody know how I can invite Bold Lion on here without totally exiting out? I wish I was more tech savvy and I'm not. Let me see. Let me try one more thing, sorry. Oh, I don't want to... Sorry. Okay. I wonder, because I'm trying to get... How can I invite Bold Lion? Get, like, him on here? Because I don't want to, like, totally go out. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to figure out how this... Okay, how do I do this? Yeah, because I know there's a way to invite you, Bold Line. I'm just trying to figure out how, because I would like to invite y'all. I would like to invite you. Okay, hold on. I wonder if... Oh, okay. Okay, let me see. Let me do something here. Um, okay, hold on. Let me, sorry. Okay. Okay. So then, and I should be able to comment. Oh. Okay, now that did not want to do that. Oh, wait a second. I think I did that, Bold Lion. I think I figured it out. So yeah, so go ahead. Yeah, you can come up, Bold Lion. Um, I don't know if somebody else wants to come up. Oh, okay. I see a guest.
Hey, good job. That was so easy. Thank you,
I
Southern
figured out
Belle.
how to do it. Well, with people's help, thank you.
That's awesome, Amy. I'm so proud of you, girl. So proud of you. Good
Oh,
job.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's
So
just,
great
like
to
I
finally
said,
be on
it's
your
one of my
live.
passions.
It's so great to be on one of your lives, son. You are the one who's shown me so much love. It's an honor to be on your live to show you love back. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, you mind if I know it's important, the passion's important, and You know, the Word of God says His love gives us a sound mind. So, do you mind if I just pray for His love for people that do have mental issues? We all have something.
Awesome.
That be all right with you?
Yes.
All right, everyone. So, Father God, your Word says your love. I pray for everyone that's watching, everyone that will watch, everyone that's listening, Father, those that are lurking, Father. I just pray, Father, that their mind finds the peace of God, Father. It is in you that we find joy. You're not a religion, you're a person who loved us so much that you would lay down your life for us. And not just to get us to heaven, but that we have a relationship with our daddy, our creator, our Lord, our King, our healer, everything we need. And so, Father, I just pray for those with mental issues. Father, I pray that your love, that they come to not just know and believe, but they are convicted with their core of their being that they're loved by you. Your word says that you'll never leave us nor forsake us, that your thoughts toward us are of good and not of evil, to give us a bright future filled with hope and expected end, Father. And I thank you, Father. You said it's your will that our bodies be in health, even as our soul prospers. That is your will, Father. And I decree over life, Father. I decree life into areas in our lives, spiritual, mental, emotional, bodily, Father, that's dying, that's decaying, places where we feel like we are hopeless. Father, I thank you, you're the God of hope. You're the ray of light. You're the lamp for our feet. So, God, I just decree your word over people tonight. I decree your life upon them, Father. I pray that your presence falls upon their lives right now. That these men and women feel your arms, the daddy's arms around them, Father. The love of an actual father. And I thank you, Father. You said you formed them in the mother's womb. They were born with purpose and destiny, Father, to change this world. And I want to say thank you for Amy, Father, for her part in people's lives, not just in dumpster diving, but her heart to care for mental issues, Father. You said the battle's in the mind. It is important. But thank the Lord that Jesus fought that battle and made it conquer, made us more than conquerors in that area. We can stand, Father, because you are with us. That if you are for us, who can be against us? Who can stand against us, Father? So I just decree that the walls of people's minds, depression, oppression, Father, all these different issues, Father, in the mental room, I think they fall down, Father, tonight. Because you said you did the work on the cross, you finished it, Father, and you set them free. And those who deal with sleeping issues, Father, I thank you for your word says that they will lay themselves down in peace and in sleep, for the Lord only makes them feel safe. Do you even have a scripture for that? We thank you for it. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. But no, that's no, yeah, no, that's no, that is true. Too. It's like, because like I said, like even with with my issues that I've had with anxiety and depression, definitely God, family, friends, medication, therapy, all have helped.
Yeah, and they all help. The funny thing is again, it matters. It's just that it's that intimacy with him, because when you
Yeah,
have that love, because it says love casts away all fear. So depression, behind what was behind depression is fear, right? Behind oppression
yeah,
is anxiety. So he said, don't be anxious for anything. So when you start staying and start speaking your word over you, I don't know. I guess it's because I've had parents who do that, grandparents and people around me that do
yeah,
that. You can feel people's prayers. You know what I mean? I can
yeah,
feel people's prayers, and it's so powerful. So,
definitely.
so you're that's why you got Amy. You got an A+. A+ name.
Well, no, it's just like I said, it's just one of my, it's one of my passions, and like the documentary didn't it wasn't like, oh, I didn't know this stuff, but like even if you know this stuff, like certain things that just when you're watching it, just like resparks the passion.
Yeah. I mean, that's what God put in you. He put in each of us a gift, my dear friend. You are a sweetie pie, and no, you really are, Amy. That's why you got your hunk of a man, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
look sweetie pie, and you look sweetie pie, and he said, "Oh, hey, hey, hey." That's what I want. But you know me, I'm bold line. So if I go too far, you know
Yeah,
to let me
okay.
know. But you know I'm very bold line. You know
I
I'm
know.
very people in my Christian side would say flirtatious. I hope not. Hope
Nah, no,
not.
hey, I know what you mean because I know I'm married, and I know you're not like,
Right.
like, hey, like, hey, she's married, I don't care,
I
you
mean,
know.
I'm being honest though. You realize the difference. So, I mean, I am being outgoing. I'm being honest, but it's not like I'm trying to destroy your marriage. It's not
No,
that stupid stuff. So I just wish people can. I guess you're that older generation. Not old. I understand my difference. I'm trying to do stuff here.
no, hey, that's
But that older
okay.
generation of wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Y'all seems like y'all know how to not take offense as much. You know, y'all like, oh,
yeah,
I've been around the ruse. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
many girls today, it's hard. I can't do anything. I'm so scared of doing anything, say anything. You know?
yeah,
I mean, society. I mean, I remember when I was in college. I'm 33 now. I would say, let's just say about 7 years. Let's say 7 years ago.
yeah,
And it's raining outside, and most women don't like their hair getting wet. So I'm opening the door to the lady get inside the building, and she turns
yeah.
around, "You trying to get my panties?" I'm like, "What?"
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't. And I'm in Texas, I'm in Southern hospitality,
Yeah,
so it's like, I don't get you. Where you from? I can't. So it's just this
yeah,
independent woman attitude of, which is fine for when the
yeah,
man wants it, but then it makes it way to where we feel like little boys when we can't do anything.
yeah,
Women, let us learn how to be men, how to serve you, right? Love you.
yeah,
And then the other way is like, I have to be your boyfriend. I have to be in intimate, like actual intimacy
yeah.
to do something. I'm like, no, you don't. It's called
No.
decency. Do you understand? It's
Well,
not.
yeah,
It's decency. People need to
yeah,
recognize decency. It's not religion. Oh, I'm doing right. I'm doing a good
no,
deed. I get attention. No, that's all about you. It's being decent. It's being. It's in the beginning of time. God made us to be unselfish, to love each other.
yeah,
I just don't understand.
yeah.
You know
Well,
me,
no,
honey.
that's yeah. No, I totally get it. It was like, it's like kind of like, like with my husband, like, when we were dating and stuff. I mean, you open the door for the lady, and like, just for women, period. That's the way he was raised, and and like,
I mean,
you know,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh,
I'm
that's
over.
okay. And I was like, like even like me, it's like, if somebody's like, coming up, like I'm walking out and they're coming in the door, you just, you leave you hold the door.
Exactly. And another
It's just,
another thing is it's in the old days. I mean, respectfully, there's that. It's just it's ma'am. You know, howdy, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. It's not. Oh, this generation's got so
yeah,
messed, and it's not that the older generation has become like us in some ways. Like if you say ma'am, like I ain't old. I ain't my daddy. What?
yeah,
Stop! You're becoming modern. Stop
yeah,
it. It's yes, ma'am, yes, sir, because it's honor, it's
yeah,
respect for that generation. It's not because I'm trying to call you old. If I want to call you old, I'll say old. Sorry, no offense. Like my generation would
yeah,
do that these days. That's why you say elderly. It's not old, it's elderly. You're older than me, so I respect you. And
yeah,
even in grocery stores, I worked at bookstores. Bookstores sadly have taken away the sacking groceries. They've now become stores where you don't do that a lot, sadly, to say.
yeah,
But I remember the days my first job was sacking groceries, and I didn't care if you were 13. You know, I didn't care. I said, "Yes, ma'am. You have an amazing day, ma'am." It's just
yeah,
to the customer. They're paying my bills. Why can't I not show love to the ones that
yeah,
do? So it's just what things have gone. It's like I don't know
yeah,
if you know this, Amy, but I don't know if you notice this at all, where you're from, wherever. But men can't even protect a girl from being abused. Do you realize that if I see a girl
yeah,
being beat up or something, I can't go protect her because if she turns around and says, "Oh, that's my boyfriend, and everything's fine," I go to jail too. I can't do nothing.
yeah,
Ladies, they tell us, "Oh, well, you need to show us love. You need y'all guys are jerks. Y'all need to stop being so selfish." I'm like, but then, oh.
yeah. No, I totally get it. I mean, that's like, how do I put this? Like I understand, like being a like how do you put like being a female is like okay, it's good to be empowered and like okay, I can do things on my own, but not go to like the other stream where it's like okay, well a guy can never open the door for me. A guy can, like never ever ever pay for like if we go out to dinner, can never ever ever pay for dinner, can
I mean, I get the attitude because we're not supermen, ladies. Again, I
yeah,
agree. We are not supermen. We can't fly there and save your life in an emergency. So you
yeah,
do need to be independently strong. I don't need to be at work going, "Oh, my honey's okay." I don't need to be worried about you.
yeah,
I want a woman. Don't want to marry a little girlfriend. I'm sorry,
yeah,
no, ladies. I want him to marry a woman because a woman
yeah,
is a woman. She knows who she is in general. She's been through. She's like, I'm done. I'm done trying to be from a girl. I'm
yeah,
trying to be a woman. I am a woman. I love that confidence. I like a lioness, but then there's that level of where she's like, wait a minute, that respect to him. I mean, my husband's here. He needs to be my husband. Let him take up slack. They say, boys, come here. You know what I mean? My mom knew that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I totally get that. That's kind of like, because I understand it was like, okay, it's good to be empowered as a woman, and yes, I can do things, but like I said, not go to the other extreme where it's like, okay, well, okay, you can never open the door for me, you can never pay for my meal, you can never do this, I have to do it all myself.
and then it goes. Well, they go farther than that, though, right?
Yeah,
There's a young girl I went to school with, and she was in the Navy. She was literally, and I'm not trying to be too graphic, but literally was
yeah,
wearing one piece things that were like barely showing anything. And she's like, I'm a
yeah,
woman. No, she's like, I work for this. I can do what I want with this. This
yeah,
is what's gonna be my baby's gonna be sucked. My husband, I'm like, but you're part of the Navy. You're supposed to represent the Navy. How are you
yeah,
out? You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to represent the country, not your own
yeah,
thing. It shocked me. I was like, wait, that's not the girl I was in college with. What in the world? It was sad. It's too
yeah,
extreme when it comes to that because I get it. I'm a guy. Oh, I'm
yeah,
sorry. Like, they're all beautiful. I am attracted to that. But at the same time, there is that respect to yourself. There
yeah,
is that decency, especially if you have a boyfriend or man. There's no need to show it to any other guy. No offense. You
yeah,
don't need. I'm
yeah,
sorry. You
no,
don't.
yeah. No, I totally agree with that too. Because I mean, there's like, it's like, I'll do sleeveless and shorts because of good old menopause and the hot
Yeah,
flashes,
Audrey. Hey,
you
girl.
know.
What's up? There you go. Yeah.
But it's like okay, like what I'm, and my if I'm getting like for example, I might wear like little shorter things in the house, but I'm like, okay, I'm in my house and my husband, like, shoot, I mean, come on. But like,
Hello.
okay, wearing like a little, like wearing a little short thing outside.
It's kind of
No,
basically, come on, you women know that we are visual creatures, and so
yeah,
it's basically, I mean, you're married and you love me, knows he loves you, so you're like, I know he likes this. Hey, baby, I still am
yeah,
with you. It's our home. And Amy, you already know this. I probably told you this before. I believe in natural, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But if I
yeah,
can, as long as she got the windows shutters down and locked doors, she can be all natural all she wants to. It's just when she's in public, I don't mind her showing some skin. It's
yeah,
when
but
when there's that level. There's that right there, that thing that this whole generation
yeah,
goes to. Because even in these comfortable pants, if you know what I'm talking
yeah,
about, it's skin tight, honey. I hate to say, but there's nothing to
yeah,
leave. An imagination. Your generation raised around. It was imaginary. What is under that dress, right? That's what
yeah,
made honey so special. But now it's like, how am I supposed to not know? And it's sad. Everything's on social media. There's
yeah.
nothing. Everyone knows everything. You can get everything, all the answers. And I feel sorry for y'all women. Y'all don't have there's no privacy for y'all at all. There's nothing.
Yeah, because I mean, no, I totally. Well, and that's when it was like even like when my husband and I got married. Like for me, for part of my son was that first of all, we were getting married in a church. So I was like, even like then looking for wedding dresses. I was like, okay, the majority of them are all strapless. And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
maybe being strapless, somewhere else, but in a church. I'm like, okay, no, we're not doing strapless. That to me was like,
Oh.
I'm like, okay, being up on the altar in church, strapless.
It made you
I
feel.
don't think so.
Yeah, I understand.
So it was like, so I made sure, like, yeah, my dress had, short sleeves, but
You
still,
are
for modesty, I'm like, I don't need
Amy.
to show it all.
I didn't know I didn't know there's a little wildness to your side. I'm seeing a little wildness in you. I didn't. I guess every woman
Yeah.
has that somewhere. Does every
Well,
woman have it?
I do actually have 2 tattoos. And I love Alice Cooper. And I've only seen him 5 times in concert now. And I did do a video that I did go to the concert, and my husband did the eye makeup and the mouth makeup.
No
That I
way, he
look
did.
like Alice Cooper.
Oh no way. Oh, this is. I guess I'm used to today's society. Okay, making y'all so a. I guess I don't know how to say indecently well, but as beings. But y'all are so fiery. I don't think women in general really understand. We are so attracted to y'all because you're so fiery. Y'all are the
Yeah.
wild. And it's like you got the older women say, "Oh, oh my gosh, vile. Oh, that's
Yeah.
vile. I don't want to wear that. Don't do that." I'm like, huh? I hope you're okay with your husband, because man, I'm sorry. I'm young. I'm like, no way. I'm going to be like my grandpa. When my grandma died, she was 400 pounds and had dementia. 400
Mhm.
pounds. That's a carrying her out. That's a big woman. While we're going to the funeral, my grandpa would not stop saying, "Man, she looked good in that piece of bikini suit when she in high school." I was like, "Grandpa, what?" He would not stop saying. I was like, "Papa, is this your generation? Is this really how y'all men thought?" And you got to remember that y'all's generation was the one
Yeah.
that wasn't that showy, but it was a first real bikini suit that ever came out during that time. And I was like, "Papa, she's wearing." He's like, "Oh, oh, he would not stop." I was like, I hope I'm like that. I have like seven couples in the fellowship. They're in their, two, three of them are in their 70s, and they are so into each other. It's like I hope I'm that way. I'm sorry. I hope I do not lose my
Yeah.
fire, because no offense to the world, no offense to what the doctor says or the menopause, whatever you go through your bodily, love should not change. It should be greater as the years go by because you've been through more with each other. I really believe that. I just do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm young and foolish, but I think with God, nothing's impossible. I think
But
He can
yeah,
still. So anyway, I'm bold as a lion. You know me. Sorry, Amy. I'm not trying to take the
definitely.
whole.
But yeah, but that's okay. But no, I have 2 tattoos. I didn't get until adulthood, but which is the way to do it, not when you're young. And
Yeah.
but yeah, and I've seen Alice Cooper, I think 4, 5 times in concert now. Louis did my makeup for the last time, and I do love motorcycles.
Aww. Amy, that's I guess why your husband he knew you're
So
a firecracker. He just had to have a firecracker, didn't he? Yep. Am I flirting? I think I'm flirting. I don't mean to. I'm just.
but yeah,
This is.
but
Amy, I love being.
no.
I'm not trying to flirt. I just love being encouragement. I love making women, even my friends, feel beautiful. Okay, is there anything wrong with that being a male?
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
I just want to be. I want to
No.
be proud.
But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get off of that. But everyone's like, "We're gone. Bye." Amy doesn't need to talk like this. Bye,
No.
Caleb.
But yeah, but no, yeah. But yeah, but then like I told people, I also like jazz, classical, Celtic, bluegrass,
Oh wow,
country, blues.
I'm impressed. Really impressed. That's a lot of different expressions of love in different styles right there. If you and has your husband ever played on that? Like, I mean, you like different styles. I wonder if he's ever played this song that says "Do this, honey." About music
Sometimes.
wise, yeah, so many. Yeah, that's fun. I mean, that's exciting to have those styles and just stay on one. You know what I'm saying?
Nah. No,
I
I like it. Like it. I don't know. It depends on my mood as what music I like.
So what mood do you go by? I mean, now that you say that, what do you mean? Like what mood?
It just depends. Like if I want, like my husband, like he likes classical music. He can listen to that in the car and be relaxed. I told him, okay, if I'm driving, I'm like, okay, I like classical music, but classical music will make me want to sleep. And when I'm driving, I don't think that's a good idea.
That's true, sister. Amen. I'm sorry. One thing I did not. No, now is classical fun? Can it be exciting? Yeah, I agree with the
Yeah,
way. I mean, it's hard to play classical. Okay, it takes a lot of work, a lot of skill. But I hate to say it, it's just too hard. So it becomes you want to go to sleep. So it's for peace. You
yeah,
don't. There's not a lot of the class where you feel like you want to go. You just want to get into it.
yeah.
So I mean,
So
now there was a guy though. I don't know. Do you ever watch American Idol or America's Got Talent at all?
sometimes,
Do you remember a few years ago? There's that guy that did. He was just playing classicals. You know how the British guy he gets bored all
oh
the time.
yeah,
Do you remember the guy? All of a sudden, it gets upbeat rap music. He starts doing the same thing, but to upbeat. He did the classical music, but upbeat.
I think, yeah, I kind of do.
That's cool. I mean, he's wearing a suit. He starts playing, and then he starts whamming it and playing and making. Oh, that was cool. I said, brother, that is the way to mix classical with a little bit of R&B in together. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah,
Because I mean, there's nothing wrong. It's basically the same
yeah.
thing, adding his flair, and that was beautiful.
No, that is good. But yeah, but I also like Zydeco music, and I like a lot of Latin music.
Psychico. I've never heard of that. That doesn't even sound
Zy
familiar.
Zydeco and Cajun come mostly from New Orleans.
Where Southern Belle's from, right? Uh,
So
but yeah,
and
see. I didn't know Cajun because I'm Cajun French, but I didn't know Sitico was that. See, I never heard that. So
yeah,
cool.
To me, like Cajun music is the slower paced.
Okay.
Zydeco is more the faster paced.
Is it more like square dancing? Would you say speed like that? Like barn dancing in a way.
Yeah, kind of that speed. Like the Cajun is more like waltzes to me, and the Zydeco is more of a fast step. But
Wow.
and the Zydeco combines, and Zydeco is more like African American influences.
Oh, really? Huh. I
So
didn't
you
know that.
have like a little bit of like I think blues in there.
You might want to do a live with your music, Amy. If you know this much about it, you might. No, I mean, I'm serious. Now, maybe not a lot of people know about that about you, and we're getting to know you, so might want to show your musical area. I mean, no, I'm serious. Play your different things. Show a little bit of history that you know about this. I mean, I think that'll be a cool addition to your lives, darling.
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, I do like music.
I love music. It's brought me through the worst days of my life. It
Yeah.
has been strength to me. Did I tell you how I got my music degree? Did I ever tell you that, Amy?
No.
If that's okay, may I share?
Yeah.
So, 12 years ago, um, well, let me start way back when I was little. So, my mom played piano. She, she had a piano, one of those 80-year-old piano teachers. Like you have to practice 8 hours a day, kind of like I mean, taught her. So she knew she got piano down. Well, uh, so my dad's name's Pat, my mom's name's Patty. But anyway, when I was growing up, my mom always had her keyboard, piano, and we were us three oldest ones. The other two are not born yet, so they didn't really get to see a lot of that. But us three older ones, me, Joy, and John, we got to get in our pajamas, and my mom would sit at the piano, my dad would stand beside her, and we would sing songs, just to have fun. So that was part of that. Then we had Blaine and Joyce Van, who had a dancing studio private dancing studio who went to our fellowship. So we were always around dancing. So music was
Oh.
there. I just didn't know about the singing until years later. We had like I may have sang a song or two in high school, our little private school, whatever. But no, I didn't know I had really a voice until later in life. So when I was on it was more after my 21st birthday, and basically I had stayed up too late. A lot of kids, they go and do drugs, do all kinds of bad things, right? When you turn 21, they're out of the legal age. Me, I'm gonna put TV in my front of my eyes, and I'm trying to make it quick and easy. Kind of want to be talking years off, but basically what happened is I stayed up too close, watched too much TV, and when I woke up next day, my face is swollen, red, tears going down my eyes, so I couldn't drive my little sister to school. Joy is the only one who could drive. And basically, what happened? She got in a car, drove a mile down the road, and both were in a car wreck. And then my car.
Oh.
Joy passed away, but Megan survived. And so I just, after that, I really lost the desire for life. I hate to say it, I just barely survived. But I would always sing in the shower for years.
Yeah.
Mom, I think, got annoyed by it. And one day said, "Son, you gotta get out of the house. How about you go down to this little college up the road, then down town next door? They're doing scholarships." And I'm like, "Mom, well, if they say no, And she's like, what if that's the worst they can do? Son, say no." So being an amazing mom, I went down, 5 minute audition, and the lady's like, "Your range is amazing. Here's $8,000, $8,000 scholarship." I didn't
Wow.
I didn't get a big degree, just got my general studies done. But it showed. I didn't know. I didn't know I had that range. I didn't know I had that voice really. And so I was like, wow. Of course, it also showed that singing is not for everybody, and it shows that it's not easy, especially in a choir group, because you make
Yeah.
a mistake, everyone looks at you, especially the majors. So
Yeah.
the day when I did that 5 minute audition, they have called the pipers, which is a girl, just musicians, right? They're the majors, and they're
Okay.
like big stars. Well, they're outside listening to my audition, so they all come in, 8 girls, majors, with their tongues hanging out, going, "Is that you?" I've never in my whole life got that much kind of reaction to girls. So I was like, I'm gonna get killed. I want to go to jail. But okay, so the next day they're like, everyone's like, "Oh, can you sing? Sing for us, right? Sing something." Well, they're majors, and I was the freshman. So you can imagine, first week everything's fine. Oh, we want to hear you. After that, oh, there's the freshman. You messed
Yeah.
up. You know what I mean? So here we go with that. So it's very funny how I had a moment of fame, but then went back to an average. You know, I'm
Oh
I'm
my
serious.
gosh.
I'm talking about college girls with their tongues just hang on. It's like, what the heck is going on?
Oh my gosh.
So that's what happened, and then so got 2 years in that, and then went to a private Christian university in Pensacola, Florida, and had a semester there and we did choir there. So had to come back in life. Didn't always make the best decision in my life during that time. So, but after that, that's when I volunteered doing bingo. I volunteered nursing home singing, things like that. So I found I had a gift. I'm not saying I had a gift, but I have something. And so, hey, I mean, here I am now. Years later.
Yeah.
YouTube and everything. Wow. And it's so weird. It wasn't my parents. It wasn't anybody he told. It wasn't really like anything like, "Yeah, on YouTube, do this." It was, I was on a Iron Antler Adventures live, and him and a few of his community friends were on there, about 8 of them, and I got on there first time, never been on there before, and said, "Can I sing?" I sang a song, very freestyle, and they're all like blown away by it, and they're all singing these videos, and it's crazy. Look at me, 9 away from 600 subscribers, a community page,
Wow.
over 80 something videos. The Lord's been so good, Amy, because I never thought
Awesome.
I could make so many friends, especially, and just as you can see, I am a guy, and it's hard being friends with girls and making and keeping them. Uh,
Yeah.
Having friends like you and Belle and Danielle, and I'm not gonna cry, but it means I've never had this many friends in my life. Never thought.
Aw.
from around the world, Philippines, Ukraine. I never thought. So it's funny how, little things, how God will use in your life, use people in your life to inspire you to do something. And so just keep doing what you're doing. You're changing the world. You have no clue. When you do your dumpster diving, you're bringing love and life. When you're sitting there and you are being romantic and flirtish with your husband, no, seriously, you guys are being an inspiration to my generation. See, when I even went to that little school, I had a humanities class, and they literally told me in the humanities class, do not have romance, basically physical love, past the age of 35 to your wife.
Oh
Literally,
my
they were telling
gosh.
you cannot do that. You cannot do that past the age of 35. And do not have kids past the age of 32. Let's just do not. So
Mm.
they make us like you cannot have love, you can't be romance, you can't kiss, you can't make love to her past a certain age. I'm like, really? Really? You can't. I'm like, they're teaching us that. I was like, I
Oh my gosh.
anyway, so Amy, that's what my generation is used to. We're so many limits and so much rules. I mean, there's a lot of rebellion. I'll just do what I want to do with my.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of limits, especially in the church, where I can't even hold my wife's hand in church. I can't be romantic, and it's a sadness where in Christ you're as long as out of love, out of marriage, right? It's honored.
Yeah.
So that's what I live in, Amy. I live. That's what my society I live in is a confused world of what is a man? What is a woman? Who am I?
Yeah.
You know, so and then I can't be a man because number one, I'm a male, so I get treated like I'm trash because I'm a male. You're a jerk. You're just trying to get sex. No offense. And then you're white.
Yeah.
You're white boy. I'm like, I'm not. I didn't say that. I didn't say.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard, honey. It's so hard, especially if you say all lives
Yeah.
matter. I get it. I get it's political.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but that's sad. We all should love each
Yeah.
other. All lives matter. But
Yeah.
now you get the you know what I mean? Oh well, I'm like,
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I mean, I agree with you because it's like, yes, how do I put it this way? Yes, Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter too.
and what I'm saying is this: is that if you look in the New Testament, this ends it right here. It says this. It says there's no difference. It's right there to Gentile and Jew, slave and free. He says you're all were bought with a price. God so loved world, the world. Can we not get that? Now, does he love the sin? I mean, he even told the adulterous woman, "Don't sin no more." Did he not tell her that? So if he loved her enough, and didn't care. If he didn't care about the sin, he wouldn't care about her not what she was doing, right? So we have to understand that he hates the sin, but we've got to look past the outside and look through his eyes. He
Oh,
says, "Don't look on the
okay.
outside, but God looks at the heart." So, yeah, you had a moment. It was my fault. My
Okay.
fault. It's weird.
I'm back now. We're back now.
It's my fault. Caleb, shut your mouth. You're a magician.
No.
Caleb,
No, you're fine.
you'll never take the spot of my husband. I'm married. You will never take this, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Buddy, I'm sorry if you ever hear this, husband. I'm sorry, dude. I had a moment.
It's okay. That's okay.
See, that's what's so much fun. I can actually do a few little jokes like that with an older generation because they understand and laugh at it mostly. Younger generation,
Yeah.
like, oh, you know what I mean? So it's just fun.
Yeah.
Generation.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, I mean, that's okay. And well, and also too, like, I mean, I think, like, how do I put this? I think within reason you can get the vibe. Okay, is a person just joking,
right.
or is there's
Something behind.
ulterior motive
Yeah,
behind the joking, you know? And like, I'm like, okay, you're just joking. There's not like an ulterior motive behind the,
I
you
mean,
know.
you realize I do think you're beautiful. Right? You understand it's being honest, but it's not going that extra.
Yeah.
You know the difference, don't you, Amy? Like I'm
Yeah.
it's like I do. I've always thought you're beautiful. I've told you that.
Thank you.
But there's that line. I know that line,
Yeah.
and that's why I want to respect you. Is that I want to be honest. I want to be a brother. I want to be a dear friend. Because again, ladies, it's so sad that we cannot expect men to step in the plate and defend all women,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I'll make sure my wife's out of the fire and it's a safety. But I'm sorry, I'm gonna run back in the fire and save someone's life. I'm not gonna do this game, y'all. I'm not playing
Yeah.
this game. I'm sorry. I can't. You all women deserve to be
Yeah.
treated like princesses. All women. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If your wife is 60 and 70, 80, thinking still kiss her. Like, no. Stop this. Like, have you ever seen the? I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you didn't. But you know how you got some of these older men and women who've been married over 50 or some years. Like
Yeah.
videos shows how romantic they are. Like they're cutie. You
Yeah.
know. Well, there's one guy. His wife is literally she's in dialysis and she's passing. You can see her. You're breathing.
Yeah.
He lives in another nursing home, so he has to get in a wheelchair and get there. Well, he plays their first date song, and while he's doing that, he's got his hands right here on her neck, rubbing. You know what she says? She says to his granddaughter, he goes, "What did she say?" She goes, "Watch your hands, boys."
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my gosh! They had been married 60 years. I was like, oh, but so sweet. He was so romantic, and she was telling him, hey,
Uh,
she's like, hey, watch your hands. I was like, oh my god, you're dying. You're still telling him, hey boy, watch your
well,
oh,
there's this one song out that my husband and I that we want to do like a video with it because it's this one song that um I can't remember the name of it. Like I'm awful with song titles, but it was like some of the verses were like it's a male singer, but some of the verses were that was like no baby, like it was like some get tempted from like the holy grail, but I already
oh
have
my
my one,
god.
and I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, that would be amazing. Oh,
But
have
they
you seen?
have
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
but they
Sorry.
have like the song that they have like is a song in different couples,
Oh,
are like whole times, from like, hey, we've been a month, or like together a month or whatever. And the very last then is this two older couple that they probably, I can't read, and on their shirt it says, okay, like dated this much, engaged this much, married this much.
that is
So like, so it's like, they maybe been together 60 years, something like that, and they're at this table and they're having like a milkshake, and then they get up from the table, and then he puts his hands on her butt as they're walking away, and she like pushes his hand up.
I worked in fast food and grocery, and trust me, I've seen some things. Okay, I know of a couple that are at least in their 70s, and I'm in a McDonald's. I was doing the lobby, clean the lobby, working, and he would stand behind her, but you know what I mean. He would like you could see
Yeah.
his eyes. I was like, okay, and you see how he would, it was his body movements, his hand motions, his saying his words. I'm like, and he's like, I was like, so they've been married, I think 40 years or something, but he's like, oh yeah, we're still on our honeymoon. I was like, huh? He said, buddy, nothing's changed. This woman is so sexy hot. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wait. You're on your honeymoon still? I was like, wow, this is precious. It's
Yeah.
precious. It's not disgusting. You know,
Yeah.
this 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 social media trash, this Hollywood trash has poisoned the young people's minds of thinking that you're 60, 70, you're kissing, you're holding, and you're grabbing each other's body parts that's only for your marriage is disgusting. No, you should
Yeah.
want that. You should be in your 60s where you feel ugly and feel like I'm old and gray. You should want your husband to say, hey, baby, you don't want him chasing another woman. Hello?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. But my generation is like, oh, I'm
Nah.
sorry. Amy, I told you, and I'm being honest. I hope I'm being firecracker when I'm getting that age. I'll still be dancing, move, baby.
Well, hey, I hope so. Well, it's like I told, let me see, I'm 51. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, I'm
wow.
51. Lewis is 56.
Wait.
And
You placed the order, man. Am I hearing this correct?
yeah.
Ooh.
But let me see, we dated 2.5 years and married 4 years. So we started out late in life. So I'm like,
But I mean, you got to know each other. See, my
yeah,
generation doesn't wait that long. You realize they don't last even a year in dating. They
yeah,
just, it's done. They can't handle anything. Girl, wow. Yeah, I actually know of a couple who in the 70s met each other. What happened was they dated in high school, and because of family differences on both sides, they had to go their own ways. They got married, they went their own things, and both their loved ones, his wife and her husband, died. I think they were still like buddies somehow.
yeah.
Like they barely messaged each other. They found each other, and then understand they said, "Well, we got back together, and both our spouses are dead, and we might as well just marry." And they did. They had the day of
Oh,
they had their honeymoon 2 weeks before, and he's like, "I love this woman. She's still that high school sweetheart of mine." I was like, "Oh, what?
that is
That is
cool.
cute.
Well,
That's so."
actually, it was like because we met on, actually, it was, yeah, we met online at CatholicMatch.com.
Ha! That's great. That's funny. Wow.
So, and actually, he lived in like Chicago, which, like, from like the South Shore, because it's a train that goes from South Bend to Chicago
Wow.
directly, and so you don't have to do that. So we were doing that, but it's like about a 2 hour distance.
So you're saying you only been married 4 years, so that's why you're still fiery. Am I understanding? You're still that
Yeah,
young? Okay, now
yeah. Well, we've
I
only
get it.
been married 4 years,
You
but
still have
we
that
dated
honeymoon
and engaged two
mindset.
and a
Yeah,
half.
okay, I get it. You still have that honeymoon mindset. You're still under the 10-year mark. I got
Yeah.
it. I understand. Okay, I was
So
wondering.
we started late in life, but yeah, but I'm like, no, romance is still until your 80s, 90s, whatever. So
Precious that you're telling me that gives me hope. I'm just saying. It just gives me hope because I'm 33 and I've never really been on an actual date. Never really
yeah,
had a. So it's hard, when you're woman with
yeah,
friends, married, dating, engaged, and you're the single guy. And then when you go talk to them about one, they're like, I
yeah,
don't remember single days. I'm like, huh, you don't remember, but you dated her? I'm
yeah.
confused. You
Well, I
can't
was,
help me.
yeah. Well, actually, I was engaged before I met my husband, and for reasons, broke off the wedding a month before the wedding.
Well, I know you're happy you did, huh? You're
Yeah,
happy. See, you always most people, not all, but I think generally we all meet our Delilahs first, don't we? We meet our
yeah,
Jezebels. We do. We do you want what you want. So you want it the quick and easy. Let's get it done. So y'all did for 2.5 years, but I'm just saying you have
yeah,
feelings, you have the chemistry, and you want it. But God is interesting. God, he's like, wait a minute. Now
yeah.
there's interesting. Okay, so there's interesting stories like I know my best friend Joshua, which is funny. Look at it. My name is Caleb. Think about my name's Caleb. My best friend, his name's Joshua. Caleb and Joshua in the Bible, like literally, dead serious. My birthday is February 16th. His birthday is February 14th. He's only a year and 2 days older than me. I'm like, how did this happen? Like, God organized it so well. Oh my gosh. So, anyway, he has three older. He's the baby. He has three older brothers and an older sister. Um, the two oldest brothers are from a previous marriage, I think, of Mary Ann, I believe, his mama. But anyway, God made it all work out. It was amazing how they met and all that. Just God miracles. But Nathaniel was going to be a doctor. I mean, not a doctor, what do they call it? I'm sorry, EMT. That's what he was. I'm sorry. So he was studying that in high school. I remember him going, doing all the classes and really loving, showing us disgusting stuff at lunchtime. We're like, don't do this while we're eating. He was the senior, just had to play with us younger ones. But anyway, anyway, so he was in university, going after it, dating a Christian girl, comes home, and there's a young woman here. Her name was Rebecca. Her name's Rebecca, and God told her that's your husband. But she's like, wait, but he's dating God, and he's not even attracted to me. He's not even thinking about me. but you're telling me this is my husband. You get it? Like, it's just there's no way it's gonna happen. Well, he went to a man's camp, and God used one of the men to spank his heart, like, "Hey, man, you need to repent to God and see what's going on." He said he bowed his knees and repented to God, and he said God overwhelmed her with such a love for her. Remember, he was not attracted to her; he didn't want
Yeah.
her. Yeah, he was dating a girl, and God said, "No, this is my choice for you." And yet the other girl was a Christian girl,
Yeah.
good, good at university, high, smart. Yet it wasn't God's choice,
Mhm.
and God gave him love. He said it was so overwhelming that he would literally um he would wake up 15 minutes before, like, no, I'm sorry, an hour, sorry, not wake up an hour before usually he would wake up and call her. He said, I would have to want to text her every 15 minutes. He would not, I was so one with love and need for her. I can't believe it. And a year later, they're married. Yes, he's like, oh no, but God overwhelmed me. Now they have 2 kids, and
Mm.
it's an amazing life. Now he's a doctor, and
Oh
she was
my
so
gosh.
he was meeting empty, right? She's a
Yeah.
nurse. I said, dude, you got married to a nurse. How did God know that you need a nurse as a doctor down the road? They knew you're gonna be a doctor. That's just too cute, dude. That's the cutest.
Oh.
So you have that. Then you have the other way where my friend Jeffrey and his wife Lindsay, they met at her mom and dad owned a dance studio, Christian dance studio. They were put together as dance partners. No pre-planning, I
Oh
promise.
my gosh.
They were put together as partners. Well, you can imagine what happened. Chemicals,
Yeah.
dancing in songs. You can imagine. They come and I was like, "Ooh, I like her. I like him. Oh, Well, they're like, uh-oh. We're both of them were big families, big families. A lot of siblings. They're like, and thank God for Jeffrey. He's just a man guy. He's like, so honey, let's not saying they're separate, but let's seek the Lord. Let's see what God wants. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to date and then it's nothing. So they
Yeah.
did. They got on their knees, both separately, and sought the Lord. They actually prayed and fasted for 3 months to see if the Lord, if this is supposed to be God. Well, of course, she's only 19. I think he's only 20. So they're just got out of high school. Just so they're
Wow.
young. And well, yeah. So God says yes, and 8 months later got married. So now they have 4 kids. So it's kind of cool, but you know what I mean? It's
Wow.
two different aspects.
Yeah.
Different rings, but yet both had to be waking up to God's calling. One just had to sought the Lord. So I think all of us, if we would just, even if it's a good thing, doesn't mean it's God. You just seek
Yeah.
Him and trust Him, and He will guide that to your life. And just trust Him with it.
Definitely.
But you have to want what God wants for you, though. No matter if you,
Yeah.
I cannot. You better want what they.
Yeah, I can't be like, okay, God, it's like, okay, God, that I want what you want, but with these requirements or these parameters only.
Yes. And again, I have no. I don't think it's wrong. I think that God gives us the requirements right in our
Yeah,
heart. Right? He put in us what we want
yeah,
because He created us. I
yeah,
just think that even that it's. I mean, does it not talk about that? God says that there's times and seasons for everything, right, under the
yeah,
sun. So, do we not understand that even He says that my thoughts or higher thoughts, my ways are better? See,
yeah,
it's trusting. Wait a minute, God. You know perfect timing when I need this, not when I
yeah.
want, when I need. Even when we say, "Well, God didn't answer my prayers,"
He
you just
did
you know He does.
in his
He
way.
doesn't do it your way and doesn't do it your timing. It's not that God didn't answer and then God didn't say yes. It is God being saying what? Saying what? I am God. I'm the
Yes,
one in control. How can you say you're my son, my daughter? How can you say you love me, but you cannot trust me? Because love is what? Based on trust. If you have no trust,
definitely.
love is not going to last. We all know, no matter how physical, no matter how much money, no matter how much things you have, if you do not have trust, love is not going to keep going. Trust
Yeah,
is the basis of love.
definitely, definitely. Hi, Danielle. I should, but no, but it was like, yeah, and I get what you mean, Southern Belle. It's like, yeah, it's like sometimes, if you like, it's like, okay, I want a message just every 15 minutes. And it's like, okay, but wait a minute, God might have another idea. It's like, mm,
My grandparents actually, because again, they're like I told you, they're
yeah,
high school. Well, sadly, her father was an alcoholic, so his parents told y'all ain't gonna marry. I mean, they were sweethearts. They didn't date no one else, and the parents were like, no. Like they got graduated from high school, like, no,
Yeah.
y'all gonna. So, well, he got in a relationship with a woman, not good for him, and she got in a relationship with an abusive husband. Well, they're still
Mm.
friends, and what happened was that she had a daughter with the first husband, and what happened was they went to the courthouse, and he said, "Honey, I'm willing." He said, "If we want to do, we'll divorce right now in this courthouse at the same time, and I'll marry you right now in this courthouse, and adopted your daughter as my own." And that's what they did. That's how
Aw.
precious. And then Georgia and all Laura and all these other little girls. So he had 5 girls, 4 of his physical, 1 adopted, but I mean, still all his girls. So uh,
Aw.
in country, because my dad, see, my grandfather was I know why my grandma liked him. See, he was a dirt biker, motorcycle racer. You see what I'm talking about? All that metals, tall and sexy, and yeah, I can see why she liked him. I could see it.
Yeah.
He also was in the Army Reserves later on, so he looked good in a suit. I can see why my grandma liked him. I'm sorry, he looked amazing, dude, tall dude. So
Yeah.
that generation just knew how to look good. You know, they knew how to dance, they knew how the cars to drive. He even had his
Yeah.
own motorcycle shop. He actually had a Golden Eagle with the side chair for her to drive in. So when they would travel, he would. Yeah, she had her own little scooters on the side hooked up to his motorcycle. It was the
Yeah.
cutest. So anyway, so
Hmm.
50. She passed. He
Aw.
grandma
But no,
passed.
that was, yeah, but when
Go ahead. I talk too much.
I was gonna say that, well, I met my,
Oops. I think I talked too much. Sorry, everyone. I think I'm
um,
talking too much. I did it again, Amy. I talk too much. The power of
that's
my talking. My
okay.
my gabber. My gabber. No, get out how you say it. That's not how you say it. Gabber?
That's okay. I
Anyway,
think so.
yeah.
But no, I was gonna say it was because when I met, yeah, Lewis online, yeah, he lived in Chicago, I lived in Elkhart. So about a 2 hour from each other distance.
Wow.
But it was like, yeah, we communicated nightly for a month. And I was like, even if I like, my requirement was because we were both in our 40s, so still adults. But I was like, okay, if anybody comes, like if anybody who was not local, it was like you have to come here first. And the
Oh.
first meeting is mom, dad, and me, and then
Oh right.
we'll go.
Mm,
And so, and he didn't complain, and like, because well, he was originally from Mexico, and he's like, okay, no, you meet the parents.
right.
That's what you do.
Oh. I
So
just want to say thank you, Amy, for being a very being a lioness. You're very flirtatious. You're just so crazy about your husband. I love that. I get that men need to be that toward their wives, but do y'all women understand y'all are the more good looking? So if y'all keep the fire up, it makes it a lot easier for us to do so. I'm just being honest, and it just makes it a lot more fun in the relationship. Us coming up to a loud woman being so loud and complaining, we're like, well, what good does it to love her and then she can't even love herself? Bye.
yeah,
So
but yeah, but so anyway, but yeah, but I'm like, okay, if he was okay, being in his 40s, and okay, so yeah, he came to Elkhart on the Amtrak, and my parents and I met him at the train.
and what
So
was it?
that
Was it
was
like
our
early?
very first in person
Oh,
meeting.
I bet it was nerve wracking because you're like, this is my parents. Oh,
Well,
my
he
dad. I
kind
love
of
my dad.
was. He kind of was, but he's like, no, this is how you do it. So,
Awesome.
so I figured that was a good start.
No, that's a good start. Yeah, I believe that you should go through the parent or guardian first, and then if they don't have one, then I think that I think the next thing people don't realize is that if they're part of a fellowship or church, I think that's the next level. I don't think you should just say, "Oh, we're gonna do." I think you need to go to a spiritual leader because that is protection for her. I'm just saying, I think
Mm-hmm.
that's a step because y'all do need to sit down and
Yeah.
have that, that spiritual. Hmm, just saying, you never know. He could be right. He could
Yeah.
be like, the Lord. I don't feel the Lord in this, and he could save you from
Yeah.
that. I hate to say this. Look, and you know that you're married. Marriage is not a, oh, we just have sex. No, it's a commitment.
No.
No, it's an everyday romance, making love, keeping it going through the hard times, going through the trials. It's
Yeah.
not a game. It's not a joke. Now, are you supposed to
No.
have fun? But no, it's a commitment. It's a forever thing, and people just take it so lightly now. Marriages are just
Uh,
it's just a piece of paper, or I don't need a piece of paper. Like one of my friends said, well, it's between me and God, and only four people know. And so we didn't go to courthouse. We don't need no ring. That's the worldly way of doing it. That's not God. These
nah.
are people. I'm like, huh, huh. I'm
Nah.
confused. I'm sorry. The fact that you only chose 3 or 4 people to share it, that tells me something is secretive. Something doesn't feel
Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? Because even the worldly people are like, "Hey, look, I got engaged. Why aren't you ashamed to show it?"
Mm. No.
The
Yeah. I
world,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. I told. Yeah. I was. Yeah. He proposed to me in Chicago. Yeah. I pretty much almost. Well, he proposed to me. Yeah, in the church in Chicago.
Oh, look at Daniel. Look at Daniel's. Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh.
Cute.
Well, then.
Her.
Well, was. Well, what was kind of like it was cool in a way. But because well, we're Catholic, so but we went to mass in Chicago, and he proposed to me in the church before
Aw.
mass started. But the gospel reading was the wedding at Cana. That was the gospel reading.
As if God was saying, "Hey, let's officially say it." That's awesome. I know,
Like,
Amy. Amy, don't look at the religion category. Look at the fact that God Himself
yeah,
gave y'all that. That's Him. The Word said, "No,
yeah,
let be." I'd rather have the Word. I'd rather have something that's
yeah,
significant, knowing that this is right, not
yeah,
some feeling. Because
yeah.
I say it, my mom and dad love each other, but my mom and dad keep telling me it's because of Jesus they love each other. They have to be honest with each other. It's like, hey, if it wasn't without Jesus' love, knowing this is God, this would not work.
Yeah,
Because you got to understand, I'm the oldest of 5 kids. Of course, Joy is in heaven, but I got 2 brothers with autism, so you got to understand dealing with that. It.
that's hard.
Well, mental health. Have you not looked at research about people with special needs?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, most of it is what? Single parents, most of them
yeah,
females, or older couples who couldn't have kids, adopt them. Most fathers, as soon as they find out that the child is with special needs, leaves in the first 2 months after it's born, leaves. That's it. And I'm talking about
definitely.
so sad is this is not worldly people. Amy, this is
Yeah,
Christians. This is the research on Christian people. I'm like, y'all, this is not right.
no,
Not right. So it's I mean, and again, 2. And my dad
yeah.
still loves my mom and still decided to stay. And it's just precious. He says,
Uh,
son, it's God. Why would I run away from what God gave me? So I love
yeah.
it. And then of course, so cute about their relationship is they met in the bus ministry. So we go pick up people for
Oh my gosh.
yeah, but so uh so how do I say this? So the church that we're going to, kind of God kind of mixed in a little weird things like, um, basically they're already asked, like they saw them hanging out, so everyone thought they were already a couple. So they did the same bus. So the guy
Oh my
says,
gosh.
"Come over, come on, you're a couple. Come take photos. Come for the church. Come for the church. Church.
Oh yeah, directory. The
Come on, come on, come on." And we're not a couple. He's like, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's totally fine." You know what they use that for? Their engagement thing. I am serious. That's their photo for the
oh
the
my
church.
gosh.
I was like, no. He's like, yes. A year late, I think it was like a year and a half later. Yeah. I was like, no way, Dad. Like, yes. But what's so cute about it was my mom has always known the Lord, but my dad grew up in church. But he did he there those the word of God was spoken, but it wasn't explained to him about living a pure life for Christ. So he just saw people do what they wanted to do. There was no really want to live the Lord. I can just do what I want to do, and God loves me. He's like, I want the real God. Where are you? Well, it it he really got to know the Lord after he sadly manifested the death of his father. His father
Oh,
was in a tractor outside, and my granddad was only 22.
oh,
Basically, things started moving, so he tried to get out of the way, tripped over the thing, and then yeah, tractor.
yeah,
In the old days, that was all farmland in Victoria, Texas. So it took 40 minutes for their ambulance to get there. So my grandma held his head in her while he bled to death. So
yeah,
my dad, his first relationship fell through. It's just a lot of bad things. Even I mean, he worked money in an oil field. He can make money. This is Texas. He knows a lot of big
yeah,
job money, but he wasn't satisfied. He was ending himself. So
yeah,
he said, God, if you're real, take this life. And he did. God gave him love, gave him a passion for him. So my mom always loved the Lord, was a freckled girl. So she's like, guys didn't really like me. So, shy, not liking me country girl. So, eh. So she would go into the library and read the Bible. Actually eat her
yeah.
lunch in the library and read and pray to God. So this precious always had this relationship. She's always
Oh,
it's funny. I've never heard her call him God. I know it sounds silly, but she would always, when she talks about him, she always says,
yeah.
That's my father. That's my Abba Daddy." That's precious.
Oh,
So anyway, so she was, of course, being a woman. She was like, God, I want to meet a man who loves you. A man with passion for you. So when she saw my daddy, she was like, oh, a young man who wants passion for the Lord. Oh my gosh, he doesn't want the world, doesn't want nothing. He wants God. So she was like, woo! And
yeah,
of course, he's got that big body structure. So he played football. So she's like, So she was like, basically their relationship was friendship dating. Or seriously, friendship dating,
yeah.
off on, off. And she's like, Daddy, I want him so badly. And he would say, honey, if he ain't willing to come to my house, he ain't your man.
Yeah,
So she prayed, and he came. He came to the house, and I guess whatever happened, God and Pat. See, Patty, P-A-T. Yeah. So
yeah.
they've been married now. Let's see, I turned. I'm 33 this year. So the year longer. So their anniversary the weekend after my birthday. So 34 years of marriage now. 5 kids.
Wow.
So love each other. My mom. Oh, my mama. I don't know. I don't understand my mama. Oh, I remember when my dad turned. He's 60 now, I think. When he turned 55, we had the pastor. We had our friends there. She goes in front of everybody. That's my hunk of a man. I was like, Mom, he's a beer belly man. What do you call him a hunk of a man for?
Oh my gosh.
And then one time he went off for something for a job, and she came back, and I remember she literally look. I don't know if you do this to your husband. She literally put her hand around his neck, his back, and just gently squeezed like a teddy bear against her. She just closed her eyes and went. I'm like, oh my god. She's just a little crazy about my dad. Oh my, she loves sitting on his lap. She loves,
Yeah,
holding hands. They're driving. He'll have one hand here, her hand handing, or he'll have a hand on her knee, or her hand on his knee. And it's just cute. I'm sorry. I was so blessed
it is
to be
cute.
around that. I mean, they're not ashamed of each other. They're not ashamed of
Yeah.
romance. It's so precious. But anyway, so I was around that, and my grandfather. Then I had a couple. I call him Papa Ray and Mama Sharp, and they've known my parents since I was little, and they became my grandparents after my grandparents passed away because they
Aw.
so close to they actually their two of their grandbabies actually call my mom and dad grandma and grandpa. So it's kind of interesting.
Aw.
So they said, yeah, we'll love to be your grandparents. So they're in their 70s, and I'm telling you, like they really very. physical with each other, very romantic with each other, and they ain't ashamed. I mean, and what's so cute about their relationship was he was a logger, and she actually asked God, she said, "God, I need a hairy man. I need a hairy chest man." And when she mentioned, "Oh, he's a logger, Harry."
Oh my gosh.
50-year anniversary, no lie, no lie.
Wow.
When they did their vows,
Yeah.
like, well, she's like the Harriman. You might want to just go ahead and unbutton the button there, brother. He did, right? Oh, it's the cutest thing ever.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just cute because she went through her, like we went through
Yeah.
when you go through that menopause stuff, and she's like, "I'm ugly," and he did such a great job of serving her, washing dishes that he finally said, "Honey, just come as God made you," and made her so beautiful enough, made her feel so beautiful that they do. She comes to him just the way God made her every night, and they love each other. It's precious. It's just precious. You
Oh.
us to be around them, not be around a lot of
Yes.
screaming, yelling, and actually people have worked for my parents, and actually like one lady because her husband's more into like selling trucks, so she had to go into the trucking business with him. But she worked for like 6 months with my parents, and she's like, I miss the peace of God. She's like, wow, y'all, you don't. Your parents' house is full of God's presence. There's peace. There's joy. There's love. It touches and impacts her marriage, impacts her life.
Yeah.
And then we had one lady who worked for us, and I, I'm trying Charity. Yeah, her name is Charity. And her husband is a volunteer firefighter, and when she worked for us, they basically decided to do homestay. They actually moved their two little kids. They bought a piece of land and actually start doing homesteading. Built their own. He did. They both built their own home together. And so anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is that my mom and dad became grandparents to her babies and became like their parents while they were going through their marriage stuff. And so
Yeah.
she actually cried when she had to leave. She's like, "Oh, miss y'all, I love y'all." She started crying. She's like, "Oh, my family." I was like, "Oh." So it's really cool.
No,
But
I'm just looking when he's giving me this look like, why are
mom,
you still up?
and
But
this
no,
day
but
is late. So I'm sorry for keeping you up, my
oh no,
friend.
that's okay. No, that's okay. But I was gonna say actually it's funny. My parents actually met through. Well, they didn't have online dating then, but they had dating service.
Huh?
So that was actually how my parents met was through a dating service, computer
What?
dating service.
What is that? Explain that. I'm what?
Okay, well, like now how we have like the online dating. Well, and that time was computer. So you would enter like your name in this computer database, and it would match like
No.
yeah.
Oh my.
So that's how they actually met. Well, actually, my her mom and her sister filled it out for her, for my mom, and submitted it. And dad filled out one. And when they got like the computer went through and like okay, it gave like the top like 10 matches or whatever. That dad was the top on mom's list and mom was the top on dad's list. So then dad called mom, but the first 3 times he called, mom was still at work, so he ended up talking to her mom the first 3 times on the phone. And then I think the fourth time he called, mom was just coming in the house, so she said her mom was like, "Come over here, he's on the phone."
Oh.
And then they went out for a date then, and I think they said, yeah, their first date they went someplace. And the waitress was like, "Okay, what would you like guys like to eat for dinner?" And they're like, "Well, we're still talking. We'll look over the menu." So I think like she came like 4 times to them, and then like the fifth time she's like, "Okay, the kitchen is closing in 30 minutes. So if you guys wanna eat, this is the." But the weird thing they found out was that they both lived in Elkhart. I think like their families went to the same church. Their families knew some of the same people, but they had never met. And then I think they were dated 6 months, got engaged, got married.
You know what's so precious is you realize you're following your family's footsteps, right? You're dating, you're
Yeah,
on dating, right? I'm like, of course, I don't believe in dating online just because so much of the junk now, but
yeah,
I think, but it's funny how it worked for your generation and it kept going down. That's so
yeah,
cool. Like you're like old black and white then is your modern dad with your husband, and yet y'all
yeah,
still work out. And it's the same. Like, how does it? What is it going to be like? Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well, and actually, my husband's ex-wife encouraged him to get on to like go seek a mate.
How
So
did God use an ex of all people? Wow, that is interesting. This is cool, Amy. I love this. I guess I'm just a guy, that's old school romantic. I love romance. I love the fire and flame. I love the hey baby, let's get it on. I'm sorry, I love
that's okay. But yeah, so well, and like I said, I mean, again, I know not all blended families can have this for various reasons, but like, I mean, for us, it's a true blessing. I mean, it's well, another thing, like he waited to have me meet his girls,
oh
and like
really?
I didn't force it. I was like, it's like I told him, I would like to meet your girls sometime, but when they're ready.
Oh. So how how
So
how close are y'all now? How close are they to you now? They gotten
well, actually, they wish me happy Mother's Day, and then their mom and grandma, I wish them happy Mother's Day, happy birthday. I text their mom, grandma, and I text back and forth. I hug
oh,
their mom and grandma. Well, and then what was so funny was like Lewis one time took the girls back, to Evanston, because they live with their mom and grandma. But anyway, he took them back, and I had like surgery a couple days before that, so I stayed home. And he walked in their house, and the first thing out of like their mom's mouth and the grandma was not even hi to him, and was like, "Where's Amy?" And he was
okay.
like, "Well,
So,
thank
so are you saying that God can heal? Is that what you're trying to say here? That
yeah,
God can heal because that's amazing. Like you both women have shared, if you know what I mean. So it's
yeah."
very wrecking. Like that's the dude I was. That's the dude I. Well, and yet y'all love each other. That's precious, Amy.
Well, it's
Oh.
so funny. It's like when she said that, Lewis was like, "Well, hi, and what about me?" They were just like, they weren't
That's
even like hi to him or anything. Just, "Where's Amy?"
that's precious. That's precious. Yeah, I heard of I now of course I'm sure the stories are out there all, everywhere, but of course social media and how people are we love the negative, so we don't seek for the good stuff. But there was a have you heard of K Love? It's a radio station called K Love. You can do online and
Okay.
it's an international Christian radio station. It's amazing. You would love it. I know your husband would love that radio station.
Yeah.
So K Love, so K and then LV. That's it, and it's all
Okay.
you get on their .com and you listen to radio. They have broadcasts. They have musicians. All kinds of stuff. There's just all kinds of stuff. They even have a prayer
Cool.
Facebook a prayer page where people give out prayer requests, and it's just a really good community. But anyway, so um, there's a story that someone told them about a lady who, I mean, it's sadly, he cheated with this woman, and
Mm.
but they, I don't know why, but God convicted or did something where they both went to a Christian concert, and that very night, God brought healing. They both wept and hugged each other, became best friends. Now, listen to this. The woman he's with now, married to, is the wedding planner for the other woman. You get that? Yeah, that
Yeah.
switch. They're completely love each other, and they're both their husbands love each other. Like, what happened? What is this? I'm like in the middle. I'm like a guinea pig. What the heck is this? It's a,
Yeah.
it's. I mean, God can bring healing. God is God.
Yeah.
It's precious. I mean, so I've heard tons of things. I've heard God restore marriages, God restore relationships, God. I know even one story of a lady who, of course, her and her husband had committed fornication, had gotten involved, and but yet later got convicted and gave their lives to Christ. And she's like, "Look, I already gave my virginity to my husband, but I want that again. But I want it
Yeah.
more." And so she asked their spiritual leader, the pastor, to pray. And she said on the honeymoon she bled. She gave virginity again. She's like, "How did God do that? I don't know." But she's like, "I'm so grateful." And I'm just saying, I'm not
Well,
weird, but I mean, God can.
yeah.
It's so cool to see God do that. I've heard stories of people who used to cut themselves, have that scar, right? The scars,
Yeah.
and actually go home after being prayed for and watch the scars in the mirror disappear.
Wow.
What Joshua's parents, they used to own horses because they're country as well. I guess I'm around country people a lot, ain't I? Country family and all, and being Texan and everything. But anyway, the horse had a tumor, and they actually prayed, like put their hands on the horse and prayed for it, and watched the tumor drop off the horse.
Wow.
So there's just cool things that
Yeah.
you hear and watch. I mean, I haven't seen like crazy great miracles, but I've seen. I prayed for a lady who had gotten out of the hospital, had that what do they call those? She was on a crutch, but she had that boot. Well, you know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
yeah. Like a walking boot.
Yeah, yeah. So I did by faith. I said, "Ma'am," right there, right in front of the parking lot in the Kroger's. I said, "Ma'am, by faith, if you would like to, you can take that thing off. I believe God sealed you." I'm shocked she actually took it off and put full pressure on it. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "No, no, it's just exciting." Or there's a basketball player from Africa, and now he's just he's wow, he's just become something big on YouTube and stuff, but and a big professional basketball player. But uh, he from he come from Nigeria, and poor family, and anyway, used to see him play and be big athletic guy, and all of a sudden I see him with a cask and got the thing going. I'm like, man, what happened, dude? It's like, man, I got injured in practice. I was like, can I pray for you? I prayed for him and I said, man, I want you to go to your apartment, take that cost off, and watch happen. Well, of course, I just did by faith. I didn't think it would happen. Well, he went there with his girlfriend and he took off the cast. The doctor said it would have been 2 months for him to get healed. Next day, I see him walking out there, completely no cast. I was like, no.
Wow.
A guy was visiting our fellowship, uh, and he had his hand couldn't bend his thumb all the way down because when he was a kid, the ball, like when you throw baseball, throw softball, whatever, his glove so hard fast it messed it up right here. Well, that's 20 something years of where he couldn't do this and swelled up. Been same thing from little boy up to it's like 40 or some years old, so 30 something years. And right there, I just put my hand on, and start praying, and we both watched it as the swelling disappeared, and he can bend his thumb.
Wow.
I was like, no, no, that's cool.
That is.
Yeah. So anyway, just want to give you some encouraging stories. I don't think people, miracles are all around you. The beauty of God's grace.
Definitely.
So anyway, just want to give some encouragement.
Uh, well, I think I'm gonna. It's about 1:02 here,
Yeah.
so I think it's time for bed, and I think Wendy wants me to turn the lights off.
Is your husband home tonight?
Yeah, he's because I snore quite loudly. So just out of because I know he has to work during the day. So on a weeknights he sleeps in the spare room just because
Right. I
well he's
understand.
a very light sleeper.
Okay.
And like I told him, I understand when you're on call or you work during the week, you need your sleep.
I understand. Well, you know what? I gotta give you guts, young lady, for you to actually be honest about your imperfections. It takes a lot of bravery on social media.
Yeah.
So I can see why he likes you. I mean, you are a confident, bold lioness. You are. You are a very bold woman, and we need more women like that, Amy. We need women who are not ashamed of their faith, who are not ashamed of their love for their men, their women, or whatever. William saying their love,
Yeah.
their love. they like you know yourself pretty well. You have confidence, and we need that. I don't see it. I hate to say it. It's hard to date anybody anymore these days. It's so hard
Yeah.
because there's so little out there to find. I hate to say it. Like you said, a virtuous woman, what a rare find.
Good
Anyway, well, good night. God bless you, my friend.
night.
Love you.
I love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, y'all. Good night. Bye. Thank you all for joining. See y'all later. Bye.